Hello, this is Gene again. It's strange. A couple times when I do videos, something happens the next day that adds to what I had to say and actually either proves what I had to say or it comes from another out of left field. Last night, Lauren Rose put something on her Twitter. A guy named Jack Smith 4 had basically a takedown on Tucker Carlson, and I talked about him yesterday about some people in the alt-right kind of think that he's our guy. And I said before, I'm not 100% believing everything the alt-right is. But this guy basically compared, saying that basically that Tucker Carlson, I guess, is a gateway to the alt-right. So and I'll try to find the video and put it below, and you can like look at this and see what they have to say. Obviously, she has, I think she goes over 1,000 followers right now on Twitter. She lost her one. She had to come back on Twitter as a different name. So she's trying to rebuilding all her what she had before. But anyway, so all the stuff I said yesterday about him not being really our guy, because he still kind of doesn't really care about his ancestry and doesn't really care the color of the people that are in your country. So it's kind of like those are kind of two of the big things that would not really be somebody that would support the alt-right. It's clear to me that he's a civic nationalist, maybe more hardcore than some, but clearly something like that, or a populist. So anyway, of course, this whole video starts with imagery of Stalin and Hitler, I think it was. Clearly it was Hitler. Or maybe it was Mussolini. And just goes on and how he compares what people in the alt-right says. And what this person did is he took 4 or 5 of the females in the alt-right, and one of them is Lauren Rose. And then there's Lana, there's Tara McCarthy, and there's another one in there. Well, I think I got all 4 of them, I think. Lana, Rose, Tara, there's somebody else. But anyway, you can look at it. Like I said, I'll try to put it below. I try to look for his YouTube channel. His name is Jack Smith, I think, 4, and he works for Mike, I guess it is, M-I-C. Strange that he has one of those, John Smith, I think it is, one of those very common names. So I'm not really sure if he really is what he thinks he is. So I think you'd have to look at that and see where this is coming from. But basically, he's saying that Tucker Carlson is saying the same shit that people on the alt-right say. People are actually advocating for the survival of the white race. And he's going through all this stuff, and like I said, you can look it in the video. I don't think there's anything that either one of these people said, nothing that Tucker Carlson that wasn't truthful, nothing that Lana said that wasn't truthful. Basically, it was like, all these people are no longer civic nationalists, and they are going to the next level and say that we have to say that it's more than just everybody's going to fall under the same flag and be all part of the same great society that the United States has, that there's going to be something more. You're going to have in-group preferences, and that's fine. It happens everywhere else in the world except in Europe and America, and even Brazil to a lesser effect. Brazil is like the epitome of the mixing that would go on in a multicultural society. More of a brown to white in that sense, but you can definitely see it. So it's interesting that this person is saying that Tucker Carlson is the alt-right, that he's a conduit for the alt-right. I guess you could say some of the people used to be in the alt-right that saw people follow them, like Paul Justice Watson. You watch that, you go a little bit further, and maybe you get down to the alt-right. I don't know. I get a lot of people it happened. Kind of like happened to me. I never really looked at. I was really never going to look at what my race meant per se. I knew I was familiar of my past, and I never felt guilty that I was from Europe. So, or my ancestors were. But while I'm listening to that, I remember something I heard earlier in the day. And I had a video before, probably 2 or 3 months ago, to Andrew Wilkow, who has a 3-hour show in the United States on Sirius, on Patriot Channel. And he says a lot of the same things that Tucker Carlson says. But at the end of the day, he's all this stuff about demographics. And he said this yesterday. He went on and on about this. They want to make it about race, so I'm going to make it about race. But he still caveated all of it and said, I don't really care. Everybody in the United States was brown, as long as they followed the Constitution and what the framers wanted. So I tweeted him. He never responds to me. He responds to other things. People have no more of a following than I do. But he won't answer this simple question. The founders were white nationalists. They wanted the immigration to have people that were white, free white men. So you can say what you want to say, and you can say that we progressed from that, or maybe the idea of this country has morphed into something else. Certainly wasn't there to 1965, but let's just say that this happened, that there's some sort of progressive movement in this country, that it said, no, we're going to a multicultural state, that we don't really care who the color of the skin is or the culture they come from, as long as they follow the guise of the Constitution, my Constitution, and that's going to be good enough. When that's never happened in any world in history of man, that people from different cultures are now all the time just going to assimilate and never going to have their own version of their own culture. That if they have the ability, they're going to try to take that back and have their culture be the dominant culture. So I tweeted to him and I said, the founders, I love the praise that you give the founders, how passionate you are about the founders and about the Constitution, all that stuff. And you talk about all the shit that they did, and I'm with you 100% there. But you have this blind spot when it comes to the founders and how they looked at immigration in this country and how we really thought that way to 1965. But in 1790, they said our immigration will be for free white men. It's there. So to say that when our detractors or our enemies say this country was founded by white nationalists, well, they're not wrong, okay? And the fact that we can't admit that. Now, we can say that we've got so much better at this, that we're more progressive, whatever that word really fucking means, okay? But the truth is how this country was built. It was not a multicultural experiment at its founding. Regardless of what the Statue of Liberty says, of course, give us your poor and all that stuff. They weren't talking about everybody. They were talking about people that look like them. Now, like I said, we can spread that out to everybody. People that, and I said that in my video yesterday that I'm okay with merit-based immigration. I don't really care if you come in India because we know that in a lot of ways they will assimilate to a point. The point I'm trying to make is simply this, that you can't just, they're going to still call you racist anyway, Andrew. They're going to still call you racist anyway, Tucker. It doesn't matter. No matter what you say, if you caveat everything and say, I don't care if everybody in the country is brown, as long as they follow the Constitution, they're still going to call you racist because they called people of conservative ilk for the last 20 years racist. Because somewhere in their bones, in their soil, their blood, or whatever you want to call it, they knew something was wrong in this country. And people are starting to wake up, and you're having to talk to these people as well, and you still don't want to go that further. And I understand it. I understand it because that's where you get your money from. You can't go further. I understand it. And yes, I still watch your shit. I cringe at every time you caveat stuff. You talk about demographic issues in this country. You realize that the whites are going to be a minority in this country. You see what's happening in South Africa. You understand what's coming to us. You see what's happening in Europe right now. They're still going to call you racist. It's okay to have preference for your in-group. It is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine for every other race out there. It should be fine no matter whether you're white or black or Hispanic. It doesn't matter. We see it all the time. And what happens? We fucking cave to it. Or the people that look like us, the Jewish people, cave to it. I mean, you know that DACA is going to be approved. No matter all this shit that we had the last 2 weeks, these people are going to be staying here. And he might get something in return. Maybe they'll build the wall, but it's not going to make a difference. It doesn't. The demographic shift is already happening. So if you're part of the alt-right or somebody that's aware of these type of issues, you have to get on board with it and say, I don't care if you call me a racist. I'm going to try to defend our people, and I'm going to be there to call it out when it's there. When somebody has the huge amount of pull that these guys have, Tucker Carlson and Andrew Wilkow, you have to call them out when they just stop it at that point. And if they don't just sit there and caveat everything, just say what you have to say and let it fall where it is. It's factual. It's relevant. The question is, do we want this country to don't want to be a majority white country? It was until 50 years ago. Well, it still is now. Okay. But I'm talking about supermajority. People need to understand this. This is not about white supremacy. It's not about one race is better than anything else. This is the founding of this country was based on that idea. It was not because we're a multi-pot. And this is what Wilkow said last night, that we're multi-pot. He doesn't understand the framers. He believes everything else that they say, but not that one area. And I don't know why. Again, it could be financial, and he doesn't want to be ostracized and all that shit. But I'm going to call it out. And I think those that have this leanings should call it out. Of course, we're going to be called racist for it. Whatever. Why do we care at this point? It's like these people, they may be conduits to whatever this movement is, but they're not all right. Until they can have the faith and the perseverance to integrity, the actual integrity to say, this is the most important thing in our lifetime, then all they are is just, they're talking heads. That's all I have to say. Let me know but let me know what you think below. Tell me if I'm off on this. I don't think I am. I mean, I love watching these guys. I like listening to them. They're right where they need to be. But like I said, they have the blinders on, and I think they know exactly. Now with Tucker, I think he is European descent. I haven't really looked into Wilkow's past. I mean, he might be Jewish. I'm not 100% sure. Also, before I let it go, I just want to say if Lauren actually sees this video, I've just been loving your tweets the last couple weeks. You're so savage, and people just don't understand. I mean, 100? I've been kicked out of 100 schools. Oh, damn, you suck. What the fuck? They don't really understand what you're talking about. It's so funny. At first, I was like, what? And all of a sudden, just boom. It's Lauren, and I'm so glad she's back. All right, you guys have a good time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.